Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's Broker Concierge session, which is going to be all about relocation. I'm Tom Colucci, Relocation Director for Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage in Colorado, and we're going to walk through some slides and explain a little bit more about relocation. Perfect. So what you'll see on your screen is some different logos. So you'll see Platinum Club, CB Connections, Cardis, and then just a little bit about relocating. So when we talk about the Platinum Club, we'll look at that first. That is now open to any agent, so it is not just for relocation agents anymore. Any agent with Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage that closes 2 outgoing referrals in a calendar year. So any outgoing referral or a outgoing referral is considered any referral that is out of our market area. So it may touch the state of Colorado where someone's leaving here and moving to another state, let's say New York, or it may not touch Colorado at all, and it may be someone that you know, a client of yours that is moving from New York to Florida. So anytime someone needs real estate assistance outside of our market area. It may also be in Colorado, but just not an area that we service, like Grand Junction, for example. So the way you place those referrals is through cbagentinfo.com. And when you go to cbagentinfo, you'll type in a keyword such as referrals, outgoing referral, broker referral, anything like that. And you'll pull up the CB Connections form, which is the second logo here in the group. You'll fill out that template. It'll go to 2 folks in the relocation department in Northern California, and that is Denise Mueller and Caliento. They will take a look at all of your information, and they will find a great agent for your client, and they'll let you know who that agent is. You can also request a specific agent or a specific type of agent. All of that goes into the CB Connections form, again, that you find on CB Agent Info. Once you do close those 2 outgoing referrals, you will be part of the Platinum Club. You'll get some additional advertising in various publications like 5280 Magazine, the Denver Business Journal, and you'll have your photo and contact information. You'll also be invited to an annual retreat, Platinum Club retreat we do in Vail, Colorado in May for an overnight and reception, so hopefully we will see a lot of you there. Cardis is the relocation company that we are affiliated with. Cardis is actually also owned by Realogy. They're the largest provider of relocation services in the world, and we will talk about them in the presentation as well. Moving to the next slide, some business opportunities for all of you. You do not have to be an experienced agent for some of these, and you do not have to be a relocation agent for some of these. When we look at the first one, we see Affinity. So Affinity refers to a group membership program. So the best example is probably USAA. And USAA is comprised of active and retired military and their families. We get a lot of business from USAA. They have a real estate rewards program where any of their members can work with Coldwell Banker and they will get a cashback rebate at the end of the transaction. We are one of 2 brokers in the Denver area. We share it with Sotheby's. We're one of 2 brokers in the Colorado Springs area. We share that with ERA Shields. And again, that is our largest affinity program in USAA. We closed close to 1,000 transactions just in Colorado last year. For those of you that are not relocation certified, you would not be seeing new business from USAA. However, you may run into some folks in your day-to-day business who are USAA members. So if you are working an open house, for example, and someone comes in, they tell you that maybe they're not interested in that property, but they would be interested in working with you on other properties to purchase. However, they are a USAA member and are part of the Real Estate Rewards Program, and that is no problem for any Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage of Colorado agents. You do not have to be certified. We can get you approved on a one-time use basis, so please do not turn any of that business away or think that you cannot help them. You certainly can. If you're on a listing presentation and you see military medals in a property, military awards, a veteran's license plate, anything like that, would be a good trigger for you to ask them if they are a part of USAA, and that could help you seal the deal and get the listing and get the folks their cash back. So you can just contact relocation with any questions like that. Second bullet, corporate relocation. That is another large segment of business. That is when a corporation pays to move their employee from one location to another. A good example of that would be Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin did a large group move from Pennsylvania to Littleton, Colorado. Cardis was the relocation provider for that particular move, and Lockheed Martin was the corporation that sponsored those employees to move. They offer various benefits for the folks moving on the departure end as well as on the destination end. As a platinum broker, we share that business also with Sotheby's, Live Sotheby's in the Denver area, and ERA Shields down south. And for that business, you would need to be certified as well to get new business from the department. However, you may run into someone like on the USAA program we talked about. You may run into a Lockheed Martin person who has not committed to an agent yet. They're searching, they're looking for a new property. Yes, you can work with them. We can get you approved on a one-time use basis. So the way it works is our actual company is approved along with Sotheby's and ERA Shields, so the individual agents can work on a one-off basis. Broker-to-broker is the next bullet that you'll see there. For broker-to-broker business, we talked about it a few minutes ago. You can place referrals to other brokers through our relocation department. So clients of yours looking to buy or sell outside of our 15-office market area, you would place that with our department through the CB Agent Connection form that I mentioned on CB Agent Info, and we would place it through one of our network brokers. On the flip side, you may receive incoming broker-to-broker business that does not require you to be relocation certified either. So you can get broker-to-broker business from other brokers who have clients in Colorado. That is placed at the discretion of your sales manager. Typically, they use relocation certified agents who feed the network with their outgoing referrals, and they will in turn get incoming broker-to-broker business. However, that is not a requirement. So if you are interested, speak with your branch manager and find out if there is any possibility of you getting a broker-to-broker referral. The fourth one that you'll see is the Referral Network Inc., referred to as RNI. That is for inactive licensees who may want to make referrals. So you may run into someone in your day-to-day dealings or a friend, neighbor, who mentions to you that they have a real estate license in Colorado. However, they're not actively selling right now. They have a full-time job. You can enroll them in the referral network. They can place referrals through the network and get a referral fee on every transaction that they refer. It's a nominal fee. I have my license in the RNI network in Massachusetts still. I think I paid $50 as a one-time fee. It's not even an annual fee. So each state has different requirements, but it's a pretty nominal fee. And the nice part about that is if you introduce that agent to the network, you can actually ask that agent to request you when an RNI referral comes in. So if they do have business in Colorado and they refer through the network, they'll get a referral fee, but they can ask you to take the on-the-ground business and you'll get additional business that way. Last bullet on the slide, sales leads. If any of you know of a decision maker at a local corporation who might be interested in our in-house relocation services or our in-house affinity program, you can put them in touch with me. I will actually make the sales appointment and do the presentation and all that. They just need to be willing to accept a call and accept an appointment, and you will be compensated for that lead. So you will have first right of refusal on that business in your market area that you cover, and you'll receive a 10% commission of the net revenue for any business that is outside of the area that you cover. So it's a pretty good way to get some extra cash without having to do a lot of work. So if you do know anyone that has a good corporate connection that may need our services, please contact me and we will get in touch with them. I mentioned Cardis a little bit earlier as the largest relocation provider in the world. There are some other large providers we work with as well. I think we're going to look at that a little bit later on. But Cardis does about 130,000 transactions a year in about 160 countries. So that represents a significant part of our relocation business, both on the affinity side. They have USAA, Navy Federal, Allstate Insurance, Discover Bank. Those are some of their affinity programs where they handle the referrals for all of those members. And then they also have lots of corporate clients like Lockheed Martin that we mentioned earlier. So as far as the Cardis broker network goes, we are a principal broker. We are a platinum broker. We have to maintain certain metrics and standards throughout the year to become a platinum broker. It renews every year. It is not an easy thing to get. So each year, it's kind of a struggle, a challenge to get everything that we need to do. We are on track this year to get the platinum status again, which would be great. We'll be one of two again this year in both the Denver area and down south. And with the platinum status, we just get a higher rotation. So we get more referrals as platinum than we would with any other status. So we want to keep that as our focus. It is a performance-based network. They measure things such as timeliness to contact their transferee, the conversion rate, how often we convert the referrals that they give us, how we do when we place incoming and outgoing referrals in the network, do those convert? So those are the things that they're looking at. They also have a domestic and international reach. So when we're placing a referral to another broker in the U.S., we're looking at about 750 brokerage firms that we can place with throughout the U.S. And then, of course, they have lots of firms in other countries. We've placed referrals to Florence, Italy, Athens, Greece, the Bahamas, Puerto Rico, Canada. So if you have any clients that are leaving the country or coming in from another country, we can help you with that as well. Here are some of the other companies that I mentioned besides Cardis. So although they are the largest, we do have lots of other providers that we work with for relocation business. Some of them are pretty large themselves. If you look down to Brookfield Global Relocation, that is another one, similar in size to Cardis, actually a little bit smaller. Serva Worldwide is another one, similar in size. So they give us a lot of business. There are a lot of medium-sized firms that you'll hear in our marketplace. Altair has clients in our market, as well as Crown Mobility, Lexicon, NEI, New Compass, Plus Relocation, MI Group, Weichert, and actually Xerox Relocation is located in Denver. So we get business from all of these companies on a regular basis, just not the volume we get with Cardis. The next slide is some of the companies that are represented by those relocation management companies. So when you hear someone's moving with Nationwide or Humana or GE, H&R Block, the corporation is actually hiring one of those relocation management companies that you saw on the previous slide to move these employees. So when we say we have a new referral of a Nationwide employee, we are not actually working directly with the company. We're working with their third-party relocation provider like Cardis, who is handling the entire move. We'll do either the incoming home finding or the departure listing if they're leaving the area for that company. This gives you an idea of our transaction volume. Last year in Colorado alone, we closed 1,811 transactions. Keep in mind, as I mentioned, the USA business is a huge part of our business. About 900 of those closings, or 50%, are USAA transactions. And you should also know there are 10 million USAA members nationwide, which is why we get such a huge volume of business. They are particularly active in military areas like Colorado Springs and some of the other military bases around Buckley, the tech center here, Fort Collins, and those areas. So those, the total 1,811 is comprised of affinity and corporate, and that gives you the dollar volume on the slide there. of all of the closings that we totaled, and then all of the commission that was shared by the 198 agents that worked on those 1,811 transactions. So what does it take to be a platinum agent? We talked about that a little earlier. We took away the restriction that it was only for relocation agents. So as of this year, as of January of this year, any agent closing 2 outgoing referrals in the calendar year will be a platinum agent. You'll get the additional advertising, and you will get invited to our annual retreat. I think that is a picture of the Sonnenauf Hotel, which is where we typically have the overnight retreat and reception. So we hope we will see a lot of you at that. CB Connections is the name for our outgoing referral program. So some interesting things about this program. We did make some changes this year as well. So for those of you that are new, you wouldn't know the old requirements and how it works, but I will tell you the new rules around it. So when you make a referral through the network, we actually are able to get a 35% referral fee from the receiving broker as long as we use the Cardis Broker Network. So for those of you that may have transferred in from another firm, or you may just know this from starting out in the business, typically a broker-to-broker referral comes with a 25% referral fee. The Cardis Broker Network is comprised of brokers that have contractual agreements with Cardis. We have all agreed to pay a 35% referral fee to any network member. So the good news for you is anytime you're placing a referral outside of our market area, we will be able to get you a 35% referral fee. That comes in, it is paid to you on your current split. So if you're on a 70% split, when it closes, you would get 70% of that 35% referral fee. If you were up on the Freedom Plan and you were at 98%, you'd get 98% of that commission check that comes in when it closes. So it's a great program. You can also choose your agent, as I mentioned. If you have someone in mind, you can request that when you fill out that template on CB Agent Info. You do not have to use a Cardis Broker Network. I should mention that as well. So if you have a really great connection with a Keller Williams agent or a RE/MAX agent in another state, you can request them. Just know that if they are not part of the Cardis Broker Network, we typically are only able to get 25% as a referral fee. We'll ask for the 35%, but unless they're a Cardis Broker Network member, we're usually only getting 25%. But you can choose the agent. We'll still place it, we'll track it, we'll collect the money in, and we'll issue your payment, and it'll be based on your split and the exact amount of the referral fee that we're able to get for you. Just a refresher again, it's always confusing for folks when we talk about an outgoing referral. So it's anyone who wants to buy or sell real estate anywhere that Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage of Colorado does not have coverage. So again, for new agents on the call, our coverage area goes up to Fort Collins, and some of those Fort Collins agents do stretch into Wyoming. It goes all the way down to Pueblo. Those Pueblo agents stretch all the way down, in some cases close to the New Mexico border. And then on the western side, we go out to Boulder, and some of those agents do cover some mountain towns as well. So if you're referring a client of yours outside of that market area, it still may be inside Colorado, but it may be Breckenridge, Vail, Grand Junction. That is still an outgoing referral. You'll place it through our department. We'll place it with a network broker. We've got some great Coldwell Banker affiliates in the mountain towns, so we never have an issue with that. We'll be able to get you that 35% referral fee, and you'll be paid on your split when it closes. Now, for those of you that are considering being on the relocation team, there are some things that you should know. There are 2 different programs, really. If you're interested in being an affinity agent and you would be working with local members of USAA, Navy Federal, and some of the other clients we mentioned, and sometimes they do relocate folks as well, but typically it's a local member opportunity. You would need to have been in the business for 1 year, and you would have had to have closed 12 transactions in that year. Now, for the relocation business, corporate relocation, Cardis requires the agent to have been in the business for 2 years and to have closed 12 transactions in each of the 2 years prior to going through the training. So if you do meet those requirements, please see your branch manager. They will let you know if there's any room on the team. We do certainly need agents in a lot of the offices. Some offices are already pretty full. But think about it if you do meet those qualifications. The other thing that you should know, the fees are not inexpensive, I guess I'll say, on the relocation business. We are charged on average about 40% from the third party that is giving us that business, whether it's a corporate relo or an affinity program. It's pretty typical to have a 40% referral fee. We actually charge 46.5% to the agent plus 0.4% of the sale price, and that is to fund the relocation department so that we can continue to market our services, keep in touch with these clients, go to their required conferences and all of these things, and keep bringing the business into Colorado. So it is good for agents who want to do a portion of their business in relocation with fees and maybe do the rest of their business without fees. This slide is referencing the fact that the relocation agent themselves typically end up with about 3 transactions from that initial relocation transaction. So the first transaction will come in with a fee, the 46.5% plus the 0.4 of the sale price. And then if all goes well over time, those folks would be referring you typically to other family members, to friends, to neighbors, and typically they will not have a fee. So if you move someone with Lockheed Martin and they get pretty well connected in the area and they want to refer you, they're not all going to be Lockheed Martin employees that are relocating. They're not going to all be USA members. There'll be lots of family members and other friends that come unattached. And the study that we had done in the past ends up being about 3 deals over time from that initial relocation deal. And those additional deals, of course, do not come with a referral fee. So it's a great way to build your business. When you look at the next slide here, you'll see the Realogy company, which is our parent company, and you'll see it broken down into some subcategories here. So Realogy owns the franchise operations of Better Homes and Gardens, Century 21, Coldwell Banker, ERA, Sotheby's. They also own brokerage operations for NRT. So we are part of NRT. We are NRT owned, and Realogy is the owner of NRT. So Realogy is our parent company. You'll see NRT under the Coldwell Banker piece. That refers to Coldwell Banker residential brokerage companies like the one in Colorado. They also own NRT, which operates Coldwell Banker Commercial. They do have some NRT-owned ERA companies. So when you look at Coldwell Banker, ERA, and Sotheby's, they can be franchises or they can be company-owned. It really depends. And then they own the Corcoran Group, which is a large high-end real estate company in New York City, along with City Habitats. And Castle Edge Insurance falls under that as well. That was formerly NRT Insurance. We do work with Castle Edge Insurance quite a bit on incoming relocation business. They work with, I guess, about 6 or 7 different carriers. So they will quote all of those carriers for the insurance product that your client needs, and then they will give them the best price. So even if someone says they have insurance through whatever carrier they're using, if it seems high to them or it seems high to you, you can certainly get them a quote through Castle Edge locally. You can contact the relocation department if you need the information on that. For relocation, Realogy also owns Cardis. So Cardis is a sister company of ours. Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter to Cardis because there's a lot of affiliated companies, so we still have to meet all of those stringent requirements to become a platinum broker each year and to stay as a principal broker on the network. So we have to work just as hard as those that aren't part of Realogy. And then, of course, Realogy owns the Title Resource Group, which is Guardian Title in Colorado. And the mortgage operation, I believe, is actually a joint venture, and that is with Axiom Financial. Previously, we had PHH Home Loan officers in the various branch offices. They are now part of Axiom Financial, so you'll see them in your offices with a local loan officer as well. Sales leads I mentioned earlier. If you know of anyone outside of real estate, oftentimes it's a spouse or a friend who may be in the human resources department, and they may mention they're struggling with the folks that are moving into the area. They're spending a lot of time on booking, furnished apartments or hotel stays or travel, or just finding moving companies, things like that. which is probably not the bulk of their business, but could be a part of it when that company is moving employees. You can connect them with us. We can take all of that off their plate. There's typically no charge for any of that. We work off of referral fees from all of the service providers. If it's a company that is doing large-scale relocations and they need policy development or global capabilities, we would turn them over to Cardis. That could come with a fee depending on what services they're looking for. But if it's moves in and out of Colorado, we can definitely handle that through our own department without any fees. Sometimes the companies don't realize they need the assistance or don't realize that it's available to them, and they try to do it all themselves when it's really much easier for us. No company's too small or too large. We've got some companies that may move someone every 3 or 4 years. We've got other companies. We just did a group move for a company called Viga, which is a German company moving a group from Wichita, Kansas to Colorado. And we did, I guess, about 100 moves or opportunities for them. Not all of them moved. So we can handle something like that as well. And if it's too large, we'll bring in Cardis. So let me know if you have any opportunities, and I'm happy to discuss that relationship with you. Last thing I wanted to mention is we do have a Facebook page. It's a little difficult to find, but if you do go into Facebook and you put Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage Colorado Relocation, you will find us. We post different news, awards, things that are happening in relocation, and you can connect with us or send a message to us through there as well. So with that, I believe we are done with today's session. So thank you for joining us, and hopefully we will see you again.